Hello and welcome to my first Wii review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Geometry Wars Galaxies on obviously the Wii. If you've never played it before, it's basically a shoot 'em up, I suppose, really. Rather than a shoot 'em up where like the level moves and the likes and you have to shoot enemies and kill bosses, this you're on a standard grid and enemies keep spawning and spawning and spawning continually. You can play a level, as far as I'm aware, for up to an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour type thing, as long as you're good enough to do it. So it's a pretty good thing actually. The game is an absolute huge hit on the Xbox Live Arcade, so naturally there's going to be a sequel. Thankfully this does actually contain the original, so if you've never played the original before, this is basic gameplay. You can actually play it with the classic controller and the Wiimote and Nunchuck. The Wiimote and Nunchuck, basically you point, and where you're pointing is where that star is and the likes, and it means that you can aim like that, and you use the analog to move around and the C button to do a bomb. Classic controller, however, though, if you bear with me for about 2 seconds. So there we go then, through the magic of editing, 1 minute of fannying about equals 2 seconds of changing to the controller. Now you no longer have a laser anymore, exactly showing you where you are, which may seem harder, but it's so much easier actually, because there's so much happens on this game at one time that the laser ends up getting lost in all of the firework explosions and everything, and it becomes to the point of where you can't actually see where you're firing. So I definitely recommend the classic controller for this. The Wiimote and Nunchuck is actually a good aiming system, and it's really fast as well, and it means you can fire in all 360 degrees and the likes. The classic controller, however, it's, well, because of the little cuts and the likes that it's actually got, grooves and that around the analog, it means that sometimes it is a little harder to use, especially if you're more used to the X360's analogs where they're just completely smooth. But this is the standard game though, and the whole point is obviously you just play for points. After killing so many enemies in quick succession, your weapon will upgrade. You've got, instead of firing 2 shots, I'm now firing 3 shots really fast, and then it goes up to a really wide but slow and powerful well, beam shot type thing really. It's still the same thing, you just get more of it, but you also get this little pulse thing around it that actually disorientates the well, the background, the grid. It's all basic geometry with the game, as you can see. The enemies are all just things like cubes and stars and stuff like that. It's mad. It's just one of those games though that, despite being so simplistic, you can end up being caught on it for a very long time. But that's the old version of the game. Let's get on to the new. The new version, there's tons of galaxies overall. Each galaxy has a few planets and the likes to play. There's 57 planets to play, unless you have the Nintendo DS. This one here, the Lambda system, if you've got the DS, then you connect to the game and it unlocks another 7 planets for you to play. So that's pretty cool. The only thing is though, not everyone will want to pay another £20 to get, well, an extra 7 missions. However, even if you don't want to pay for the extra game, you can still link this up to your DS to actually unlock the mode I've just been playing there. You can transfer it over to your DS. So, basic gameplay, you've got 8 little drones, basically. There's ones that will attack for you and they'll help you out, and you can level all the drones up with the XP. There's ones that will defend you, there's ones that will collect geoms for you, which basically they're the currency there, how you buy galaxies, planets and even drones. My personal favourite is Sweep. Sweep basically spins around you and actually destroys things, so it's like a little bit of a shield. The more you upgrade him, he'll actually spin round faster and faster and get closer to your ship. So it is one of those things where you want, if you've got a good drone, then you can get it really good by persistent play and the likes. The whole point of this mode though is just basically you have to get to a certain score to get medals. So it's the same as the other mode though, the only difference is though it actually changes the stage and the likes. So this here, instead of being in the standard cube, I mean, I haven't got a clue actually what I'm in. I'm just in some sort of other type of box. The boxes range from small, tiny even, to really big, and they also change shapes and the like, so you can get diamonds and all sorts of stuff. And as I say, the gameplay just stays the same. The whole point is to constantly shoot the enemies and the likes. I've currently actually got that wave thing I was saying earlier on, where it's upgraded itself so much because I've shot so many enemies in quick succession, and as you can see, it's absolutely annihilating the enemies. On the original mode, it's not actually that useful because, as I say, it's slower but more powerful, but there's not really any difference to the strength of the enemies on the original mode, so you don't really need the more power. This mode though, there's loads of enemies that are actually tougher and they'll take more than one shot, so it comes in really handy then. I like how they've managed to actually improve that, because it's one of the things that myself and all my friends who love the game on the live arcade always said the same thing. I wish I could stick with the 3 fast shots. So they've actually found a way to make that useful and make you want to get it, which is pretty cool. This mode, you've still got the usual. You've got the 3 lives and you've got the 3 bombs that you start with. You can get more lives and more bombs by, well, getting points and the likes. You can also get multipliers, and to get multipliers you have to actually collect these little yellow crystal things, which are called geoms. Your multiplier can go up to 150 times, but don't think that makes the game easy, because even though you've got 150 times, you still have to shoot a hell of a lot of enemies to get the likes of, well, this one here, 20 million to get the gold. Even after you've filled up your multiplier, it still is useful collecting the geoms, because as I say, that's your currency on the game. So you can buy planets and drones and galaxies and stuff like that. Don't really think there's anything else left to say though. I like listening to a bit of the music though. The music I think is fantastic on this. So there we go then, that's a little bit of the music. I was saying there wasn't much else left to say, but I'm forgetting possibly the most important things about the game. One, there is online leaderboards for this, because the whole point is it's a high score game, so what's the point of a game with no leaderboards? So you can actually go online, but how the leaderboards works is a little dodgy. Rather than per level, it's your collective score over the entire game. So it basically means people who've got a lot more time to play this game are probably going to get higher scores because they're playing it a lot more. I mean, even someone who's pretty bad at the game could probably get 1 million per thing and rank up his score like mad. It actually, I checked one day and it was at 50 million as the highest score, and then I went back and it was 23 billion. So there's a huge amount of difference there. There was also a co-op and a versus mode. This, at the moment, is the versus mode. Basically, whoever gets the most points in the lives wins. Co-op mode, you do actually fight together. You've got collective amount of lives, collective amount of bombs, and a collective score. So it's pretty cool. You can play the game with any of the control methods and all that. I'm currently using the classic controller, whereas as you can see, Panda's got the laser because he's using the nunchuck and the likes. So that's about everything that I know that I can say. That's everything that I've remembered anyway. Graphically though, as you can see, it's pretty basic as I said earlier on, but it is actually still really good. It's really fun how it works, and it's quite impressive that you can get up to about 200 enemies on the screen at one time. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.